Welcome to another lesson of English streaming. Today we're going to talk about something very exciting, something that all music lovers really enjoy a lot, something that happens once a year in England and everybody really wants to go to it. If you've not heard about it, you'll want to learn all about it. If you know about it, then you still want to learn more and come if you can. Today we are going to talk about Glastonbury Festival. As you can see, all these people are very excited to join us, and I hope you will be just as excited. Last lesson we also talked a bit about comparatives and superlatives. This lesson we will carry on from where we left it. We will take it a level a bit higher, so even the language will be a bit more difficult and possibly a bit faster, and we will go more in depth about these two topics, comparatives and superlatives. And if you're good, I'm not going to sing for you, so don't worry about it. Take it away. Let's start the lesson with a few useful words. Muddiest. Muddiest comes from mud. And mud is when it rains a lot in the ground, it makes all that brown stuff which is really ugly. Muddy is something which is full of mud, but muddiest is as muddy as you can get when you're really full of mud everywhere. Look at this guy, he is just covered in mud. He is the muddiest man I have seen in a while. In an outdoor event, one of the most important things, especially if you go for a long time, you eat a lot, you drink a lot, and you're feeling, I feel a bit funny, and you say, I need to, and I say, I found my portaloo. So a loo is a place you go to the toilet, and the portaloo are these portable loos that you can use in events or in concert. I have to go. Headline. A headline you can use for many different things. A headline, like in a newspaper, is the big writing on the top. A headline is like the headline news, or a headline can be the person in the concert who is the most important person. When you go to see a big concert, there are many different singers. The headliner is the person you really want to see, the most famous important person, the headliner. Quirky. Quirky is a funny expression. It means something a bit strange, something a bit loony. What are these people doing? Oh, they're flying over the place. This is so quirky. What's going on here? Predictable. Predictable is something you know is going to happen. Like here, you see these black clouds, you know it's going to rain. Nobody has to tell you, it's so obvious. When it's so obvious, it is totally predictable. Crazier than a cat on a tin roof. That is silly. That is an idiom in English, which means, what is going on? Really? It's the opposite of predictable. Predictable is you know what's going to happen. A cat on a hot tin roof? This is just something you cannot see coming. Outfits are the clothes you wear, but not your everyday clothes. It's normally like a costume or something really fashionable, something really strange and quirky again. Look at these. These are, what are they? Batman and Robin outfits. They are dressed like somebody else. They're like superheroes or something. Really strange clothing. Exhilarating. You don't know what exhilarating means? It's so funny. Come on, you must know what exhilarating means. Exhilarating means it's very funny. You just can't help stop laughing. It really is out of this world. This is very tiring. There's a lot of work. It's so heavy, this work. I'm getting so exhausted, so tired. Just like this guy here. Look, we cannot take anymore. It's so hard. Packed. Packed means like a pack is a box or something you put, and you do the packing because you're putting everything into a box. But it can also mean when there's lots of people and there's too many people around, it's all packed because we're all tight one against another. Like, look at here, this concert is absolutely packed. There's very many people there, and they're all very close together. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. Let's talk about Glastonbury. Let's go on a journey together to learn English and learn about this good English tradition. Glastonbury Festival is UK's biggest and muddiest party. Imagine the largest farm you've ever seen, but instead of cows, it is packed with 200,000 very excited humans. It has more stages than you can count, and more portaloos than you'd ever want to see. The pyramid stage is where the hottest acts perform. This year, Dua Lipa, Coldplay and SZA will sing to crowds bigger than some small towns. But Glastonbury isn't just about the music. It's almost the messiest art gallery and the quirkiest food you'll ever visit. The weather, is crazier than a cat on a tin roof. 1 minute you're sunbathing, the next you're swimming in a mud. But don't worry, the muddier you get, the cooler you look. At Glastonbury, the strangest outfits are the most normal, and the weirdest experience become your best stories. It's where you make the loudest sing-alongs and the silliest dance moves. Just remember, to pack your sense of humour, you'll need it more than a toothbrush. Well, I hope you enjoyed our little summary on what Glastonbury was all about this year, and maybe one day you'll join. Now let's see how much you understood on the text you just heard. I will ask you a few questions. You have 5 seconds to answer. Let's see how well you do. You can use the writing here as well to see if that will help you understand and be able to answer the question within the 5 seconds. So 5 seconds to answer your question. Question number 1. What is Glastonbury Festival described as? And the answer is... Question number 2. How many people attended Glastonbury Festival? And the answer is... Question number 3. Where are the hottest acts performed at? And the answer is... Question number 4. Can you name 2 or 3 headline artists mentioned this year? And the answer is... Question number 5. Beside the artists, can you mention what else can you find at Glastonbury? And the answer is... Question number 6. Can you say what Glastonbury Festival was described as? It was a very funny idiom we used. What does the text say about getting muddy at Glastonbury? And the answer is... According to the text, what other than your toothbrush do you have to pack up for Glastonbury? And the answer is... According to the text, what are the kind of outfits considered normal at Glastonbury? And the answer is... Question number 9. What are the two things the text says you will certainly do at Glastonbury? And the answer is, according to the text, what other than your toothbrush do you have to pack up for Glastonbury? And the answer is... Okay, that is enough questions for today. How did you do? Was it too hard? Please, in the comments down below, tell us what you thought. Tell us if they were too difficult, there were too many, not hard enough, or the best questions you've ever heard. We would like to know. But if you want more questions and more follow-up, please look down at the link and find more questions. This is also a good time to subscribe and like this lesson if you liked it. But it's not over yet. Now we go to the language focus. And now we come to the language focus. In our last lesson, we talked about comparatives and superlatives, but we only touched the beginning part of it. If you're a beginner, I recommend you go and see our past video, and you'll find just here a link to our previous video. But just a short recap, comparatives are used when you're comparing one thing with another. And in normal cases, that is just by adding an ER to the end of a word, especially when they are a one-syllable word. When they are longer words, then we use the more or the least to compare something, like this is a better thing than that. But in this case, we will take it a step further. We will introduce the word then. When you compare one thing to another, you always add a than. This is bigger than that. I am a better runner than that person. Another example is, this concert was louder than the other. You see how I'm using the word then to compare one thing to another. But this is English, and in English we always have exceptions to all the rules. Now I'll be listing a few of the exceptions we have in comparatives. One exception is good. You cannot be gooder, but you are better. Farther becomes further. Superlatives are normally preceded by the, like the biggest mountain, followed by an in or of some kind of preposition to compare it to something else, to the group. So it's the biggest mountain in the whole mountain range. This is the loudest concert all year. This is the loudest concert in the whole festival. Good becomes best. Bad becomes worst. Far becomes furthest. The same applies to when a word ends in a Y. So happy becomes happiest. Note how we change the Y into an I. Easy becomes easiest. So remember, superlatives, there can only be one. So you can only have one best in a group. You cannot use it to compare. You cannot have two best. You only have one which is the best. Totally sure if it is the best, it was always best to use the comparison. And I know this is a video, but try and answer these questions to me. For example, which is the best concert you have ever attended? Really? Who do you think was the most important actor in Glastonbury this year? In your opinion, what is the most important thing you should pack when you will go to a place like Glastonbury? But this is English, and we always have our exceptions. And that is it for today. We have reached the conclusion, but you can still practice a lot. In fact, if you go under here in the descriptions, you will find a link to more exercises. The more you exercise, the better you become. And if you like this lesson, remember to subscribe. A subscription is very important for me, but it's also for you. It will tell you when the next lesson will be coming. And if you really liked it, put a thumbs up and tell all your friends to join our lesson. It will help you and me to make this even better than before. You see, I ended with another superlative and comparison. Hope to see you on your next lesson, and do your homework.